Hello all, I'm Suyash Goyal, an educator on Unacademy. You can follow me on Unacademy Learning app where you can find my other courses as well. This lesson is going to take you through some very interesting Latin words, their meanings, how to use them in English sentences, and we'll also talk about the pronunciation of those words. That is most important, like how to pronounce those Latin words. Okay, so please do not forget to rate, review and share this lesson, and also please do not forget to subscribe to Unacademy YouTube channel where you can find multiple courses on a number of different topics, and all those courses are for free. And this is my profile, and here's the link where you can just follow me for my other courses as well. Please do not forget to shoot all your questions, any doubt, any query which you are having in your mind. You can just directly shoot that in the comment box below, and all your questions are welcome. And please do not forget to rate and review and recommend this lesson. So let's continue with some more Latin words which we have in this lecture, and here's the very first word of this lecture, that is modus operandi. Now if you just go through its part of speech, that it's noun, and if you just have a look at its pronunciation, then it is pronounced as it's modus and operandi. Okay, it's modus operandi. Now what is modus operandi? So you can actually link it with a mode of operation. You can actually link this word modus operandi with a mode of operation, and which actually means a particular way of doing something, a particular way of doing something. Whenever something's to be done, whenever we have something to do, and a particular way to do that thing, a particular way to do that something is actually known as the modus operandi for that particular thing. Okay, like for example, if I give you an example, bad bosses often have a recognizable modus operandi. Like different bosses have different way of doing things, isn't it? For every different boss, the structure would be different. The way people are going to perform, the way in which employees are going to perform is different. So that is what the example is saying, that bad bosses, the bosses who are actually bad, the bosses which actually appear to be bad to their employees are actually bad bosses. Okay, they actually appear bad to the employees. So why is that? What is that bad factor in them? That is the recognizable modus operandi. That is their way of doing things. Like they want everything to be perfect, they want things in a particular order. All these things actually make them bad, isn't it? So that's why we have just taken this example. Similarly, we have the next word, that is modus vivendi. Now we first just had a talk about modus operandi, and the next word which we are having is modus vivendi. Now what is this modus vivendi? Now when I'm saying modus vivendi, so again it's a noun, okay, and the pronunciation is modus vivendi. You can just read it out here. It's modus vivendi, and its meaning is a way of living. Like we talked about modus operandi, the meaning is way of doing something. So when I'm saying modus vivendi, it means a way of living. Now how you actually live your life, the way which you follow to live your life, a way of living, that is what modus vivendi is. Okay, that is what modus vivendi is. Like for example, the old modus vivendi is fading forever. Obviously, when we keep on increasing in terms of our age, when we keep on increasing in terms of our experience, we always feel that the life which we used to live when we were a child and the life which we are living right now is actually a lot different. We actually come to know that that life and this life, these lives are poles apart. Okay, they are just opposite to each other. We used to live a different life, and now we are living a completely different life. Okay, so that's what I can say, that a way of life, the old modus vivendi, the old way of living the life is actually fading forever. It is actually fading, isn't it? So this is modus vivendi, like a way of living. The next one is post-mortem. Okay, it's post-mortem. Now you all must be very much familiar with this word post-mortem, and I would like to tell you one thing, that this word is also of Latin origin. This is a Latin word which is used very frequently in English conversations, and you all must have heard this word at least once or twice or thrice in your life, and you all must have used this word. I'm very sure about that. Okay, so again it's a noun. It's a noun, and the pronunciation of this word is, it's post-mortem. Okay, it's post-mortem. So whenever I am using this word, the word should be pronounced as post-mortem. Okay, it's not post-mortem. It's not post-mortem, it's post-mortem. Okay, and the meaning of this word is examination of body after death. Now whenever anyone dies, whenever someone dies, so after that, if that is a case of accident, if that is a case of murder, if that is any such case, then to actually know the cause of the death, then to know the actual cause of death, what is done? post-mortem is done. Okay, the examination of body takes place after the death. Okay, so that is what we call post-mortem. Like for example, the post-mortem revealed traces of poison in his stomach. And as I told you, like to know the exact reason, like why someone died. Whenever there is an uncertainty, one is a natural death, you know, when natural death takes place. So that time it's not necessary, but whenever there is any kind of, you know, discrepancy or any kind of problem or any kind of question which when you are having in your mind about the death of anyone, then you can actually go for the post-mortem. Okay, so post-mortem actually clarifies all your queries that how he died, when he died, okay, and what are the problems in the body which have been detected at the time of post-mortem. Okay, so it can actually give you all those details. So that's what post-mortem is. So similarly, the example is saying the same thing. The post-mortem revealed traces of poison in his stomach. Now there are some traces of poison which have been found in the stomach at the time of post-mortem or in the post-mortem reports. Okay, so that's how we use this word post-mortem. Now the next one is per capita. Now what is this per capita? So when I'm saying per capita, I actually mean to say that it's an adverb. First of all, it's an adverb, and the pronunciation, the right pronunciation is per. It's per. Okay, it's per capita. It's per capita. Okay, and its meaning is per head or for each person. So whenever I'm giving you a figure in which I'm actually mentioning that I'm going to spend 1,000 rupees per person, or I'm going to spend 1,000 rupees per head. So actually I can use the word 1,000 rupees per capita, and believe it or not, this word per capita is used very extensively these days in the education sector also. Like whenever we are dealing in any engineering field also, like if someone is doing civil, or if someone is doing electrical, or if someone is doing any other field, then that per head is actually spoken per capita in most of the cases. We very hardly use this per capita, per head or per person. We generally use per capita. So this is very extensively used these days, per capita, that is per person or per head. Okay, the example which I'm having for this is the per capita income in the country is very low. That means per person income, the income which every person is getting. If I'm just talking about the per person income, like how much that person is getting, how much he is getting, like on an average per person, how much we are earning, how much the country is earning per person. So that is very low. If you are just going to find that, so that is very, very low. That's what the example is saying. And similarly, you can see one more word here, per annum. So it's another Latin word, per annum. Like we have per capita, it's an adverb. Similarly, per annum is also an adverb, and the pronunciation is per annum. It's per annum. Okay, and the meaning is per year. Like in case of per capita, the meaning was per person or per head. Similarly, in case of per annum, the meaning is per year. So whenever I am giving you a figure in which I'm talking something about per year, so instead of that per year, I can use per annum. Okay, like for example, his salary is 5 lakhs per annum. That's a valid statement. I can say his salary is 5 lakhs per year, or instead of that, I can say his salary is 5 lakhs per annum. Okay, so that's how we can use this per capita and per annum. So that's all for this lecture. We will be talking about some more interesting words, Latin words, in the next lecture. Thank you very much. This is Suyash Goyal signing off.